Hello everyone, it is Republic Suds here to review one of the most expensive years of LEGO Star Wars 2003. Now this year was quite insane. We got the now $5,000 Bespin set. We also have like a crap load of micro sets. So anyway, in today's video we are going to be going through every single one of these really interesting sets, and they're all really interesting. So with that said, I'm going to ask you all to hit that subscribe button if you love LEGO Star Wars. And real quick, 19 sets total this year. So 8 of them were actually like these weird micro builds, so we're going to actually just be putting those in their own category after our main list. So when you're thinking of those, we're going to get to those after this, because I feel like they don't get to go on par even with these sets. So anyway, starting off at number 11 is set 4477, the T16 Sky Hopper. This cost $15 back in 2003. It would cost about $23 today. It's not a bad set, it's just not exciting. There's nothing really going for it. I don't even want to spend too much time on it. It's just an alright set, nothing special. Now moving on to 9 and 10. I could not decide. So 2 of these sets are 9 and 10. This is between set 4475 and 4476. One is Jabbas Message, and the other is Jabbas Prize. So Jabbas Message come with R2-D2, C-3PO, and Bib Fortuna. A great addition to the Jabbas Palace set we'll talk about in a second. You also obviously do get the little eyeball droid. And the other one comes with Carbonite, Han, Boba Fett, and a Gamorrean. Now, each of these have one exclusive figure, that being Bib and the Gamorrean, and I cannot decide for the life of me which one is better. I feel like the builds and, other figures are basically comparable, and I can't decide for the life of me. Either way, they were $7 back in the day, and, they would cost about $10 today. If I really had to choose, I'd probably choose the Boba one, but they're so close, like, it's not even worth giving them each a number. They're both basically the same. Now, at number 8, we have set 4480 Jabbas Palace at $30, at $46 in today's money. Super great value set. It's really interesting. You get Jabba the Hutt, the beautiful hot GNotch Droid. Oh, he is amazing. You also get Princess Leia. Plus, you get Luke and some of the variety of droids that come in this set. And the real question is, why is this so low on ranking? Because this looks like LEGO's interpretation of the pits of hell. I mean, just look at this thing. You get you get the gates. Like, they weren't very upfront about it. Why GNotch is there, I do not know. But you get like the gate again. There's no Rancor down there, so it just kind of leads Luke to the gates of, again, hell. And you do have Jabba. He's cool, and it proves that you don't need to worry about jacking up the price for these big figures. I think that's kind of a weird misconception we have nowadays. Overall, interesting set. It's really cool with all the addition sets we just had in the last ranking. They're in the last one, so that's very cool. Now, let's move on to number 7. It is set 4478, the GNotch Fire. This cost $20 back in the day. It would go for about $30 today. Came with 2 GNotch minifigures, 2 regular Sandy battle droids. I love these guys. They're really cool. And you also get a pretty solid Starfighter build and cannon. There's not, again, much to say. It's a very bland set. It was the first of a kind, which is cool, but it's just nothing too exciting. Number 4476, the TIE Bomber, a $30 LEGO Star Wars set. You do get a TIE Pilot in there. Again, like, the sets are all just kind of okay. The TIE Bomber, again, I believe this is the last actual main set we've gotten of a TIE Bomber. Like, so this is probably the first and last TIE Bomber in an individual set we've gotten. It drops bombs. I watched some reviews on it. It's nothing very special. I don't like the blue highlights. That's about all I can say about that. Now, moving on is one of the most interesting sets I've seen, and I was put in quite a predicament here. So this is set 4481, the Hellfire Droid. This cost $50. Like, looking at this thing even today, $50 is a really hard sell. So if you adjusted that for inflation, this would cost $77, which is nuts. No figures. I'd say it's borderline a UCS, if not 18+ style set. It is so incredibly accurate to what Hellfire Droids look like. I love the detail. They nailed it. Now this is also 681 pieces. Super expensive again, and it also has a very heavy Technic presence. Like it's all Technic. There's no regular building in this. It's all a Technic build, and quite frankly, in the aftermarket, it's not awful. Because nobody really knows about it. To be 100% honest, I didn't really know this existed. I think I've seen it, but I didn't even really know this existed. Either way, moving on to one everyone knows exists. It's at 4482, our first ever ATTE. At $70, it would cost about $107 in today's economy. You get 4 clone troopers, which is very cool. You know, you get that little speeder. You can actually fit in the ATTE. You also get some seating in there. You also, again, it's just kind of stubby looking. It looks like someone kind of stepped on it. And, you know, it's not the best ATTE we ever gotten, but for 2002, it's not awful. Quite honestly, the cannon is way too far forward. I think that's probably, if you had to draw a main problem with the set, that would be it, other than it being really short. And, you know, it's just interesting. It's an interesting model, and that's really all I have to say about it. Now, moving on to number 3 is set 10129, and this is the Rebel Snowspeeder. It cost $130 back in the day. It would cost about $200 today, so it's basically the standard UCS stat that we get for May 4th. It's a solid set. It's a solid land speeder. You get what you pay for with it. It's certainly a product of its time. You could tell it's an older UCS set. But it looks good. It looks alright. It's very stud heavy, you know, with the modern, I say new, you know, UCS Snowspeeder. It's obviously very much more detailed. This one's it's a product of its time. Again, all of these sets are just kind of average. Now, moving on to a non-average set. This is at 4483, the AT-AT Walker, costing $100 back in the day. It would be about $150 now. This thing is a game changer, and they're still using this design to this day. Either way, it came with a pilot for the AT-AT. You also got 2 snowtroopers. Very cool. You also got Luke Skywalker, of course. And, you know, this is a revolutionary design. We've gotten this about 3 to 4 more times, whether it be from The Last Jedi, MT-ATM6 appearance, to the 2020 appearance. They've kept the relative same structure for these types of sets. And I'm grateful, because this one's a really solid one. It looks really, really good. LEGO nailed it. I have 0 complaints about it. It looks good. Now, moving on to number 1, we have set 10123, the obvious Cloud City. It cost $100 back in the day. And, you know, adjusted for inflation, it would cost about $150 if they released it today. It's an iconic LEGO Star Wars set. This thing goes for, on average, on eBay, $5,000. $5,000 for this thing. I'm sorry. Some of y'all are nuts. Oh my gosh. I cannot even get over that it has gone up in price that much. And you know, you get some of the best detailed figures from this time, but they're not like that good. You do get Arm Print and Boba. That is a $2,000 minifigure right there. You also do get Lando. He's a very expensive figure. You're getting Leia and Luke. You're also getting Han Solo and Carbonite. You're getting Stormtrooper and Vader. Again, one of the better figure selections of the time. They still have the yellow heads. Again, Bespin Luke. We had not gotten to Bespin Luke until, I believe, very recently, like within the last 3 years. Before that, this was the only one we had, which is nuts. The figures, the details, everything was great. It was our first real play set like this type of a thing, and it really set a precedent. And also, there's a very forgotten about landing pad that comes behind this. So on the box art, this is all you see, but there's actually a landing pad. It's very cool looking. It adds a lot more value to the set than you're actually seeing here. So I want to point that out, because that's a reason also why it's up here. Now, with that said, let's get into the micros. So we're going to go relatively quickly with these. Now at number 8 with our micros, it was the MTT set 4491. Just not exciting. This thing would cost $10 in today's economy. It cost about $7 back then. Really overpriced. All these were really overpriced. Then we have set 4489, the AT-AT. I like the posability in the legs. Same price as the MTT. Nothing very special. Then we have another category set 4484. These were like micros. These is the X-Wing and TIE Advanced. It cost $4 back in the day. It would cost about $6 now. These things are tiny. Even for $6, they're pretty tiny. You're not getting a great part per piece ratio on there. You also get at number 5, 4485, Anakin and Sebulba's Pod. $4 again, $6 today. Then you also have another one of these really expensive ones at 4488, the Millennium Falcon. This cost $7 back in the day, which even now 7 feels like a lot for this. And then again, it costs $10 now, which is like a microfighter cost, which is nuts. Then at number 3, we have set 4486, the AT-ST and Snowspeeder. Again, $4, $6 spiel. And then you also do have set 4487, the Slave 1 versus Obi-Wan's Starfighter. Cost $4. It will cost $6 now. Not super interesting. Then you have set 4490, The micro gunship at $7, game will cost $10. I'm biased towards gunships. I know. I don't really care, but gunships are just objectively cooler designed vehicles, and that's why this one is here. Best one of these all. That just goes without saying. And yeah, so either way, this was a pretty interesting year for LEGO Star Wars. You got some of the most interesting sets. You got an introduction of the AT-AT and Bespin are the obvious highlights. And then you also got some other interesting ones, including, like, Hell, which, you know, I didn't think LEGO would ever do. Either way, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Remember to hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Remember, peace out, and stay awesome.